Hey everybody. So I'm on my lunch break right now, and I was just thinking about future video content for the channel, and I started thinking about all the different places I've pulled information from over the years as I've gotten into this habitat management stuff. And one of the primary places I looked right away was YouTube. And if you look at my my YouTube channel, or on my personal YouTube account, I'm subscribed to many different channels, but there's definitely certain channels I look to more often than others. So I was thinking about it, I'm like, it'd be worth sharing some of the channels that I just thoroughly enjoy and appreciate their content, so people don't have to search and find it for themselves. And I was thinking about it too. I'm like, I don't want to, I'm not going to mention the popular channels, because if you know my channel, you know the popular channels, the ones with 50 to 100,000 plus subscribers. I was kind of thinking of the ones that are less popular, but still very respectable channels. And I'm also focusing on guys that have been at it for a while. So if it's a newer channel or somebody's kind of just starting to get into this, I still love those channels and I subscribe to them all the time. But for this particular video, I'm focusing on guys that have a lot of experience and a lot of experience, and that are just very respected within the industry. And when you're looking at getting into this habitat management stuff, make sure you pull from a variety of different sources. One thing I see that happens a lot on these habitat forums is guys will kind of pigeonhole themselves, where they kind of just end up following one guy, and whatever that guy says ends up being gospel to them. And if somebody maybe challenges some of the information or disagrees, they really struggle with it, where I think that's how we grow with this stuff. Like, we should be challenged. I invite people to challenge the content I'm putting out there, because I'm not saying I'm right 100% of the time. And if I'm off base on something, or maybe something I put out there doesn't line up with your situation, by all means post it, or challenge me on that. I think that's how we grow in this stuff. So when you're researching habitat management, pull from as many sources as you can. There is tons of great information out there, and I want you to pull from a variety of different sources, because just like in habitat where diversity is good, I think good diversity of opinions is good too. So make sure you're looking at multiple sources. So yeah, so I'm gonna do this later tonight. I'm gonna show you 10 different channels that I feel like are just great channels. Do I line up with everything each one of them says? Absolutely not. But I take what works for my situation and apply it, and just leave the rest. Because there is no single habitat mind out there that knows every single bit of information that's going to work for you. So that's why you should pull from many different sources. And if you have a channel that you like, please put it in the comments. I may know about it, I may not. If you're starting a channel, please post it in the comments. I like supporting people that are kind of just getting going in this, and I'll subscribe, I promise. But yeah, that's one of the best ways you can support people that are doing the habitat management, that have YouTube channels, is by subscribing to their page. They're putting free content out there, so by you subscribing, you're supporting what they're doing and encouraging them to continue to do it in the future. So if you like any of these channels, please subscribe to them. It definitely helps these guys out. All right, so next I will post the 10 channels, the 10 lesser known channels with well-respected guys that I pull from. Not the only 10 channels I watch. I watch a ton of different channels. I could probably do another video on this of 10 other great channels, 20, 30 other great channels. But for this video, I picked 10 that I like a lot, and I will share them now. All right, as promised, here we go. 10 great habitat management channels that don't have as much publicity as some of the more popular channels. So I kind of focused on those that were probably 20,000 or less subscribers. So, all right, first one, All Things Whitetail. A little blurry, but All Things Whitetail, just one word. So this channel's not active anymore, but there's a lot of good content on it. Some really, really good Jim Ward videos. If you don't know who Jim Ward is, this guy is a great habitat mind. He doesn't have his own channel, but you'll see his videos on a few different channels on YouTube. And I'm sure he's cut way more trees than whoever the #2 habitat management guy is out there and cutting trees. I mean, this guy, he's made a living cutting trees, making buck beds, setting up stand locations in a way where the buck doesn't stand a chance. I mean, he's just a great mind. And this channel, All Things Whitetail, has a few really good Jim Ward videos on it, as well as some other good videos. So check it out. We'll keep the Jim Ward theme going. So here we go. Extreme Deer Habitat. That's Jim Brocker's channel. You've probably heard of it if you're into the habitat management stuff. Jim Brocker has a book, Extreme Deer Habitat. Really, really good content on his channel. If you're thinking about hinge cutting, this is the first channel you should look at, and you should watch his hinge cutting safety videos. Before I ever even hinge cut a tree, I researched the topic for probably between 1 to 2 years because I didn't want to mess it up, because once you cut a tree, you can't take it back. So I watched all of his videos. He's just got a really great take on hinge cutting. He's got a really good video of a man-made deer bedding sanctuary. That just kind of shows how he likes to lay those out. And then this video right here, of all the habitat videos out there, is my favorite. Whitetail Wisdom with Jim Ward, a property tour. It's really long, hour and 42 minutes, but you are going to get the bang for your buck with that one. There's just tons of great content in that video. Lots and lots of good takeaways. I've watched it probably 3 times just because I learned something new every time I watch it. So that one's on the Extreme Deer Habitat Management channel. Tip this up just a little bit here. All right, what do we got next? Oh, Chilcote Forestry. There, Chilcote Forestry. A little tough to see. Chilcote Forestry. So I like this channel because this guy is a forester. He's been at it for a long time, and he's also a deer hunter. He's out of Pennsylvania, I believe. But he just has some nice takes on managing timber, but also managing timber for deer. And again, I like to get a diversity of opinions. So I enjoy watching his content because he's sharing kind of some whitetail wisdom from a forester's perspective. So one definitely worth checking out. Habitat Solutions 360. So this is Jake Eliner's channel. Another Michigan guy. Jim Brocker's out of Michigan as well. So Habitat Solutions 360. If you don't know who Jake Eliner is, he's very, very well known in the habitat world. It's amazing what he's done on his small Michigan property in a high hunting pressure area of Michigan. He just has success year after year, but he's put in, I think, 30 plus, maybe 40 plus years into this property. I know he's talked about it, working on it back in the 80s. So lots and lots of time into this property, but he's completely transformed the property, and he's got some very good videos that kind of take you through some of the work he's done on the property. And the thing I just genuinely like about Jake is that if you ever hear him on a podcast or when he's talking about this kind of stuff, I like to say you can actually hear, you can hear him smiling. I know that doesn't make sense, but his passion and just the fact he just loves this stuff with every fiber of his being comes through whenever he's talking on a podcast, and you can see it in his videos too. He just loves this stuff, and he's that passion piece is contagious. So Check them out, Habitat Solutions 360. Oh, there we go. If I tilt the phone down, it's not quite as blurry. Right there. All right, what we got next? MSU Deer Lab. So this one is, I think, Bronson Strickland, and there's another guy that runs the channel, Mississippi State University Deer Lab. Really good content from an educational standpoint. So here, this is one of my favorite videos from them, talking about mineral stumps and the power of mineral stumps for deer. So if you've never watched this one, check it out. They got some cool videos on just kind of collared studies with bucks. Lots of good stuff on there, so check them out. Epic Whitetail Habitat. So he posts a lot of content on hinge cutting and just timber management. He's out of Wisconsin. I think the thing that resonates the most with him is just his work ethic. You can tell he's a guy that is willing to do the legwork to get after it, to transform a property. Just based on what I've seen, even though I don't know him personally, I think he's one of these guys that just doesn't quit. He gets at it and he goes until the job's done. Probably biased too, because I think he grew up on a dairy farm. I grew up on a dairy farm as well, and I just think dairy farm kids have a great work ethic. So, Epic Whitetail Habitat. All right, this one's another Michigan guy. Can't remember his name. Josh, maybe? Don't quote me on that. So, Whitetail Driven Solutions. He's got a lot of really good content. He's got a bunch of different habitat tips on his channels. He's got this cool concept with hinge cut bedding areas. He calls them his hub style bedding areas. I haven't tried it too much on my farm. It just the way he likes to cut these just doesn't lay out well for the timber on our farm, but I'm sure there's definitely a lot of situations where it would work well. So, but other great content, logging content, switchgrass, all kinds of good stuff. So, Habitat Driven Solutions. All right, this one I think has the most subscribers. They might be over 20,000. Seymour Bucks with Randy Vander Veen. They have some really good videos when they first created the channel with him and Jake Eliner, again, Michigan guys. A lot of great stuff on deer bedding, hinge cutting. He's talking a lot about food plots in his later videos. Just another really good habitat mind. Seymour Bucks, Randy Vanderveen. Habitat Pro LLC. So this is Jake Blow. He's local to me here in Minnesota. I think he's only probably 40 minutes away from where I live. Jake's really good about creating lots of good, as he calls them, nuggets, like short videos that you can watch in a few minutes, get a good takeaway, and apply it to your land. And he's definitely got some content on here that you won't hear other places. He's got a lot of his own takes. He's been at it for quite a while, and his experience definitely shows through on the channel. So lots of good stuff that you can watch quickly and apply on your land. Last one here, Land and Legacy. They're out of Missouri, I believe. I love Land and Legacy because their passion show just kind of shines through on their channel, on their podcast. They're purists in that they can't stand non-natives, or invasive species and some non-native species. So they're big in promoting native species, native habitat. They're big at working with what the land gives them, trying not to change a landscape if it's not what it's supposed to be naturally. A lot of good content on timber management. I really like them because they take a very well-rounded approach to habitat management, in that they're talking about stuff that doesn't just work in Missouri, but they'll look at timber management in the north and the south, habitat management practices north, south, Midwest, East Coast. They have a wide variety of content. If you follow their material on their podcast or on their channel, you're going to find something that works for your particular region in the country. So, Land and Legacy. Very good podcast. All right. Looks like that's 10 of them already. Again, if you enjoy any of these channels, make sure you hit that subscribe button. These guys are putting this stuff up for free. It's a really good way to support them. I mean, they're taking time out of their day to post this stuff. So make sure you hit that subscribe. And like I said, don't put yourself in a box. Make sure that you're looking at multiple different channels, research articles, podcasts, all of the above, because having a diversity of different takes is going to just help make you a better land manager. I like looking at this stuff. I mean, I look at stuff for what works in the Midwest, the South, East Coast, because I like walking different properties. And, I know what works good on our farm, but if I'm walking a property even a few miles away, it might be a completely different landscape. And if somebody's kind of asking my opinion as I'm walking the property with them, I want to know, what might work for their particular situation. So don't just think you need to follow one voice or one bit of research or what have you. Make sure you get lots and lots of different takes on this habitat management stuff, and you will become a very good, well-rounded habitat manager. And the best what's the word I'm looking for? The best learning you can do is experience, because you can't teach experience. Having time in the woods is your best teacher. And once you start getting out there and you start doing some of this stuff, you're going to learn so much of this stuff for yourself, and you're going to come up with your own ideas, because you're going to try things and see how deer react. You're going to see how you fail and how you need to correct things. But experience is the best teacher. So just get out, get at it. After you've done a little bit of the research on your own, start trying some things. Expect some failures, but you're going to have a lot of success too. All right. You all take care. God bless.